Hey everybody, guess what? It's September, and you know what September is in Colorado? Chili season, our favorite time of year. Today, I'm going to make for you green chili. Boy howdy. Green chili is made about 10 million different ways, and I think I've tried most of them. How's that drink doing, Mabel? Every time I hit record, the dog has to take a drink. Anyway, today's recipe comes from my sister-in-law who shared her mother Judy's recipe, and I gotta tell you, it's the best one I ever had. The very best one, and it's probably the easiest one to make. Holy cow. So, Colorado, we've had a rough gardening year this year, but the chilies did pretty good. You can get chilies either fresh from a stand, at the chili festival, at a market. If you don't have them, you can buy just regular raw chilies and roast them yourself. All you need to do is, if you have a gas oven, you could put them on there and turn them around on the burner until they're black, or on a grill. If you have a gas grill or a charcoal grill, put them on the grill, keep turning them until they're black, throw them in a plastic bag, and let them sweat. And then once you get your chilies, if you're lucky like we are here in Colorado, they roast them for you right there on the scene. And then I bag them up. Or I should say we bag them up. Here's how we do it. We don't even peel them first. They come to us black, and it's all smoky and so good. What you do is, you just put them in the plastic baggie, just like this, just how you get them. And you can see that the skin peels right off. Look at this. Beauty. We freeze them like this, saves a lot of time, but it maintains that smoky flavor. Now you can also buy these canned or frozen, just so you know. So just because you don't live here or in an area that has fresh green chilies, as soon as it happens, look at that. You pull the top right off, I split down the middle, and I get rid of the seeds. And then we chop them up. So if you don't live in an area like Colorado or New Mexico, the green chili capital of the planet, then you can buy them frozen or canned and dice them up. If you're using canned whole green chilies, then I suggest you throw in a few cans of the hot, because you're going to need to dice these up and make 2 cups. So let's go over to the sink and I'll show you. So once I'm in here, I'm just going to give it a rinse. I'm going to make sure all the little black bits are off and get rid of the seeds. Lay it on a paper towel. Again, check it out. Look at that. All that black just peels off. I have a baggie in the other sink. A trash bag. And then again, here I'm going to take the top off because you don't want to, the stem won't cook. And it's a great way to open the seeds. I'll open the chili to get the seeds out. Booyah. I've already been chopping a bunch of them already. So I'm just going to pat them dry. Stack them one on top of the other. We're just going to slice them. This time of year, oh my gosh, you make all kinds of things with green chili. Green chili burgers, green chili casserole, green chilies, green chili stew, which we call green chili. I make a chili relleno casserole. That's the bomb diggity too. I have a video for it. I might make a new updated version. This green chili, what do you do with it once it's made? Well, you can eat it out of a bowl. All kinds. Smothered burritos. Let's see if this gives me 2 cups, because that's exactly what I need. And it does. Look at that. 2 cups on the money. Get my hands washed. And we'll go to the very next step of this green chili. So in this little saute pan, I have 1 small onion that I've diced up. Also a teaspoon of oil. I also chopped up 2 cloves of garlic that I'm going to throw in here. Now because I have the garlic in there, I'm going to cook this over medium heat. I don't want to burn the garlic and give it that burnt garlic taste. I also don't want to burn the onions. So we're going to cook it low and slow until these onions are translucent. Now this recipe says salt and pepper to taste. Well, we all know that a little pinch of salt when you're sauteing onions helps speed up the process. It helps it release its water and helps it break down. And then next thing you know, it'll be done. And it takes a few minutes off the cooking time. So once this is good and translucent, I'll tell you what the next step is. And by the way, I got all my mise en place done, all my preparations, so everything's out and ready to go. So, see you in a minute. Alright, here we are. As you can see, it's not completely translucent, but I don't want to burn my garlic. And it's going to cook longer anyway. So this right now, the sole purpose of this is to get it hot, get it started to cook, and so the flavors of the salt, onion, and garlic all go together. So now, turn off the heat. We're going to add some spices. The residual heat from the hot onions and garlic will make these spices bloom. That was a 1/4 teaspoon of red chili. Again, the heat's off. If you're cooking on electric, then remove it completely from the burner because you want to take it off the heat. So this makes it bloom. And then finally, 1 teaspoon of cumin or cumino. Depends how you want to say it. So mix this together thoroughly. And it's just going to bloom and smell so good as if you roasted these spices yourself. But you're not. You're letting these hot onions and the residual heat of the pan do that for you. The importance of taking it off the heat, I can't stress enough. So, even though I'm on gas, the little metal burner down below is still pretty warm. So once I get this mixed, I'm going to take it off the heat. Let's move over to the other skillet we got going. This is 1 pound of ground pork. And I'm just going to crumble it up and cook it, and I'm going to cook it to death. What do I mean by that? I'm not only going to brown it, I'm going to brown it. So my wife will tell me as I'm making this, as she usually is the one that makes it, make sure you brown it. So tell me this about 4 times while I'm doing it. And what she means is, not only cook it, because you know, it's like hamburger. When you're cooking it, it's called browning. When you're crumbling it up like this. But for this dish, you want it to get good and crusty brown on the bottom. Not burnt, but kind of crusty brown on the bottom. What that does is it makes the flavor just so deep, like it's cooked for hours or days, and it just makes a real difference. If you don't want to wait that long, it'll be just fine if you don't let it get too brown. But the browning does help develop deeper flavors. So I will show you what that looks like. I'm not going to make you watch this because this is the only time-consuming part. Okie doke, I will see you shortly. This might look done to the most of you, but it's not. It's got to get good and brown. Now, some people who are lovers of the green chili like we are may be watching this video right now and thinking, ground pork? No way. It has to be cut up and cubed and all that good stuff. Well, guess what? The first time my wife made this, I thought the same thing. I thought ground pork, what is that? But it's amazing. You just wait. Amazing. Now, what you can do, if you're a purist, you can just cut up some pork chop into cubes, and throw it in here once you get this done, and cook it slow. It's going to simmer for a while now. Once I get everything in there, it's going to simmer and cook really slow, and let those flavors get melded together. And then you can add your pork then and let it cook slow. But you don't need to. You don't need to. This right here is so stinking good. What I'm doing here is I'm spreading it out for maximum surface coverage to let the meat brown as best as it possibly can. Booyah! Tip of the day. Alright, let's have a look. Oh yeah, look at that. That is what you call deep browning. So, now that we got the brown color going, let me just bust that little nug up. We are going to add 1/3 cup of flour. All-purpose flour. And don't worry, this recipe and directions will be listed in the comments section below, because I want everybody to enjoy this awesome recipe that Judy has shared with us, so that her legacy will live on forever and ever. So, just like any other time you would add flour to something like this, we're going to cook it for at least 3 minutes, stirring it the whole time. And the reason is to cook off that floury taste, and again to help brown that flour up just a little bit. So I'll see you in 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Do you remember this? We're going to add every bit of this to our meat mixture. It's had time to get all its good blooming done. It smells wonderful. The next thing we're going to add is a can of chopped tomatoes with the juice. And because we're doing green chili anyway, I did rotel because it adds a few more green chilies in it. Next, we're going to add 2 cups of chicken broth. The recipe calls for 2 to 3 cups, but we're going to start with 2, and we're going to cook it to the desired consistency that we like. If it's too thick like a gravy or a deep stew, add more. Just add the 1/3 cup slowly until you get the desired consistency that you want. And you want it to be just a bit on the thin side because you're going to let it simmer for a little bit. And so again, some of that moisture will evaporate. You're probably thinking, Jimmy Dick, that looks good. Well, not yet, because I haven't added my green chilies. I always put that in last. Or next to last. Can I just tell you that we're very excited in this house about green chili? This is our very first green chili of the season that we're making. I buy the chilies by the bushel, and then we bag them up separately and freeze them. That way we can pull out what we need. Now, this right here to me is not a chili or even a stew. It is thick. So we're going to add another cup, the whole thing, right off the bat, of chicken broth, and keep more on standby should you need it. Once I get this mixed together, I'm going to put a lid on it, and I'm going to let it stew for at least 45 minutes before we dig into it. You all, I can't even tell you, I hope you try this. If you've never had green chili, you're in for a treat. If you're a green chili lover, guess what? You're in for a treat, because this is fast, it's easy to do, and it tastes delicious. I'll get back to you when we are ready to eat. Ah, scram! Check it out. Look at this. So good. So thick and lovely. Let's just lick the spoon, shall we? That is good. Woo! Now then, what do you do with a bowl of green chili? First off, cover it with a lot of cheese. Then put another saucer on top to create a little micro oven and melt that cheese. Oh yeah, but we're not done there. Oh yeah, that's pretty melty. Next, sour cream. We're just going to put a little dollop right in the middle. Then, because it is green chili, you must have some corn chips. And what I like to do is break it up like a garnish. The cheese prevents it from sinking too deep down and becoming soggy. So, booyah. Now you got some crunch, you got some cheese, the heat's beneath it. Let's put a little bit more drop on top for the picture. Oh yeah. Yum City. Let's try it. Let's get a little bit of this cream. You can also use queso fresco. God bless September, and God bless green chilies, and God bless Julie for sharing her mom's recipe with us. Oh good, you won't be disappointed. Hey, if you like this video, please smash that like button. What do you say?